Good morning, and welcome back to Morning Drive Quotes. Today, our reflections are inspired by Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, a book born from the darkest of human experiences, yet shining with one of the brightest truths. Even when life takes everything from us, we still have the power to choose how we live. This morning, as you drive, let these words remind you: strength doesn't always come from changing the world outside. Sometimes, it comes from transforming the world within. Frankl wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Think about that for a moment. How often do we fight reality? We resist traffic, deadlines, setbacks, disappointments. We tell ourselves, if only this changed, I'd be okay. But reality doesn't always bend. Some situations won't shift, no matter how much we push. And yet, we are not powerless. In fact, this is the moment of greatest power. Because while you may not control the situation, you can always control your response. This was Frankl's discovery in the concentration camps, where every freedom was stripped away except one: the freedom to choose his attitude. He realized that even when everything external is lost, the inner self can remain unbroken. And this truth applies to us every day, in ways both big and small. You may not be able to change the traffic this morning, but you can choose patience. You may not control someone's opinion of you, but you can choose not to be defined by it. You may not stop life's challenges from arriving, but you can choose to grow through them instead of being crushed by them. Every time you shift from "why me" to "what now," you practice this wisdom. You stop waiting for the world to change, and you begin changing yourself. And that shift, that inner transformation, is where resilience is born. So as you head into your day, remember, power doesn't always come from changing circumstances. It comes from choosing the way you rise within them. And this brings us to the second reminder, one of Frankl's most famous words: those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. This may be one of the most powerful truths ever written. Because when life becomes difficult, when struggles pile up, when mornings feel heavy, what keeps us moving is not comfort, not ease, but meaning. Frankl discovered this in the harshest place imaginable. Surrounded by suffering in the concentration camps, he noticed something extraordinary. The ones who survived were not necessarily the strongest or the healthiest, but often those who carried a reason to live. A loved one to reunite with, a purpose yet unfinished, a dream waiting to be fulfilled. That why gave them strength to endure the unbearable how. And the same is true in our lives today. Think about a parent who wakes up early every day, exhausted, but still shows up for their children. Their why gives them strength that coffee alone could never provide. Think about an athlete who pushes through grueling training because their why is the dream of standing on the podium. Think about a student who keeps studying late into the night, not because it's easy, but because their why is to create a better future. The how of life, the challenges, the difficulties will never disappear. But when your why is clear, the how becomes bearable. So the real question for your morning drive is this: what is my why? Why do I wake up? Why do I keep moving forward even when it's tough? Your why doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as wanting to love your family well, to serve others, to grow as a person, to create something meaningful. But once you know it, everything changes. Your energy has direction. Your struggles have purpose. Your mornings have meaning. Today, instead of asking life to be easier, ask yourself to be clearer. Clarity of purpose turns even the hardest road into a journey worth walking. And that leads us to Frankl's next reminder. Even in the darkest conditions, one freedom always remains: Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Viktor Frankl knew suffering on a scale most of us can hardly imagine. He lost his family, his freedom, and lived in a world designed to crush the human spirit. Yet even there, he found one freedom that no one could touch, the freedom to choose his attitude. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Think about the depth of that. You may lose possessions, health, status, or even people you love. Circumstances may take almost everything away, but there remains one place no one can enter unless you let them, your inner world. And within it lies your power to decide how you will face life. This is not about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's not about being blind to reality. It's about remembering that your response is always yours. Even in the worst conditions, you can choose to be bitter or to be hopeful, to despair or to hold on, to hate or to love. Every morning, life presents us with circumstances we cannot fully control. Traffic, deadlines, unexpected challenges. But beneath all of that, there is a deeper layer we always control, our attitude. And the attitude you choose shapes not only your experience, but also your identity. Choose gratitude, and even small things feel abundant. Choose patience, and even delays become bearable. Choose hope, and even setbacks become stepping stones. This freedom is not small. It is the foundation of dignity. It means that no matter what happens outside, you remain the author of your inside. And from that place, meaning can always be found. So as you move forward today, carry this truth with you. Nothing and no one can take away your ability to choose your attitude. That freedom belongs to you, and it is your greatest source of strength. And from this inner freedom comes a new perspective on suffering itself. Frankl reminds us, suffering in itself is meaningless. We give our suffering meaning by the way in which we respond to it. Suffering in itself is meaningless. We give our suffering meaning by the way in which we respond to it. Viktor Frankl did not romanticize suffering. He faced it directly, saw its cruelty, and admitted its harsh truth. Pain by itself carries no meaning. But he also discovered something extraordinary. Meaning arises not from the suffering itself, but from the way we respond to it. He wrote, "Suffering in itself is meaningless. We give our suffering meaning by the way in which we respond to it." This is not easy to hear, especially in moments when life feels heavy. When loss, disappointment, or heartbreak comes, our first instinct is to ask, "Why me?" That question traps us in circles of frustration. But Frankl invites us to ask a different question. What now? How can I respond to this in a way that gives it meaning? Think of the people you admire most. Often, they are not those who had perfect lives, but those who turned their pain into purpose. A person who lost someone they love and then devoted their life to helping others heal. Someone who faced failure and used it to build wisdom and strength. Someone who carried scars, but chose to let those scars become sources of compassion. The suffering did not define them, their response did. This is the freedom each of us carries. You may not choose what happens, but you can choose how you transform it. Pain can either harden you or deepen you. It can break you or open you. It all depends on the meaning you create through your response. So as you drive this morning, think of the struggles in your own life. Instead of asking why they exist, ask, what meaning can I give to this? How can I use this to grow, to serve, to love more deeply? In that choice, suffering shifts. it stops being an enemy and starts being a teacher. Pain is never pleasant. But with the right response, pain can be purposeful. And that purpose can carry you through almost anything. And this leads us to Frankl's final reminder for today. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. Viktor Frankl concludes with a truth that reframes our entire view of life. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. It's tempting to believe that our struggles come from the outside, from traffic jams, financial stress, relationship issues, or unexpected setbacks. But Frankl reminds us that circumstances, no matter how difficult, are not what truly crush the human spirit. What breaks us is not the weight of life, it is the emptiness of living without meaning. When we know why we live, the how becomes bearable. When we have a purpose, even challenges transform into stepping stones. But when life feels empty, even small problems can feel unbearable. Think of two people in the same situation, say, working long hours. One feels trapped, exhausted, bitter. The other feels driven, motivated, purposeful. What's the difference? Not the hours, not the tasks, but the meaning behind them. One sees only burden. The other sees a path towards something greater. Purpose is not found in perfect conditions, it is found in choice. You may not love every moment of your job, but you can find meaning in providing for your family, in serving others, in growing your skills. You may not control life's challenges, but you can choose to let them sharpen you rather than break you. This morning, ask yourself, what gives my life meaning right now? What purpose can I carry into today? It doesn't need to be grand. Even small purposes, a kind word, a commitment to grow, an act of service can anchor you and make the day bearable, even beautiful. Because life's weight is not what decides whether you stand or fall. It's the strength of the purpose you carry inside. So let's gather Frankl's 5 reminders from man's search for meaning. When you cannot change a situation, change yourself. Those who have a why can bear almost any how. Your last freedom is to choose your attitude. Suffering has no meaning on its own. You give it meaning by your response. Life is not unbearable because of circumstances, but because of lack of meaning. These lessons are not distant philosophy, they are daily practices. They remind us that meaning is not given, it is created. And once you carry that meaning, no circumstance can truly defeat you. If this reflection added strength to your morning, take one step now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who could use a reminder of their own power to find purpose. And as we close this episode, we look ahead. In the next Morning Drive Quotes, we'll turn to Marcus Aurelius and his timeless meditations, a guide from a Roman emperor who carried the weight of an empire, yet found peace in stillness, clarity, and inner strength. Because purpose gives us reason, and wisdom gives us the way, and together they can light every morning of your life.